Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, this one featuring Orianna. This is taken from a team ranked game. You might notice the team tags here. This is between a team called Mundo with a lot of weird O's and zeros in their name, and also a team known as Ray, short for Rebels and Yanks, which is made up of Speaker, Diva, and some of their friends that they've known since Civilization 4 multiplayer games days. So anyway, on this team we have Metallion playing as Shinzao, Young Diva playing as Fiora, Speaker playing as Orianna, Sunrise playing as Taric, and Warlord playing as Tristana, and they're up against Aurelia, Leona, Corki, Gragas, and Shyvana. I was spectating this game because I was watching Speaker, Sunrise, and their friends play this match. So, as far as this game goes, we're going to be focusing on Orianna. This is a pretty good example of an Orianna game. Orianna's been pretty popular recently. Some of you might have seen Ocelot of SK Gaming playing Orianna in almost every single game at the European regional finals for Season 2. So there was a lot of good example of Orianna play in that game. Speaker's not, of course, as good as Ocelot, but this is, in fact, a game that shows off Orianna's gameplay pretty well. And I haven't had an Orianna video in quite some time. She was kind of infamous when she came out in summer of 2011 for being extremely overpowered, like really overpowered, which was balanced only by the fact that she had a very high skill cap. She's one of the more complex champions to play. I think she's one of the better designed champions because her gameplay is very unique. She doesn't really play like a lot of other champions. Everything's based around the movement of the ball. She's the ball girl who uses this ball to do all of her different skills. But anyway, we'll have a chance to go through, talk about the skills, see some gameplay in action, and watch the matchup in mid between Orianna and Gragas here. Gragas has also been very popular. He's been being used a ton in competitive play right now. Really kind of came out of nowhere, but a lot of the other popular AP mids got nerfed, and Gragas actually did get some buffs, and that combination put him back into very common use in competitive play. So anyway, what are Orianna's strengths? So she has a lot of, she deals decent damage, not quite as much damage as some of the other AP mids, but she deals pretty good damage. She has a great deal of utility. Brings a lot of different utility to the team. She has a speed up, she can shield people, her ult can reposition people. So those are some of her strengths. Again, one of the downsides is that she does have a bit of a high skill cap to play. She's one of the more complicated champions due to the way that you use her ball skill. Anyway, let's go through highlight her skills. There's her passive. She gets, she gets extra attack damage based off of ability power. And she actually has a really clean auto attack animation as well. So that's another thing sort of in her favor. Yeah, she does actually get AP scaling on her passive, on her auto attacks, and she has a very nice, like I said, a very nice clean auto attack animation. The projectile's fast. This is not like the Soraka Banana or the Karthus horrible auto attack animation that's impossible to hit anything with. So yeah, I've seen some people play AD Orianna before. It's a little silly, but I mean, you can kind of do it if you want to. Not recommended though. Anyway, so she's got a decent passive. Basically gives her AP scaling on all 5 of her skills, her 4 skills and her passive right there. Anyway, we did have a gank up in top lane. Probably should have shifted the focus up there, but that was good enough to secure first blood. Alright, let's try to go through the skills here right now. Her Q is called Command Attack. This is where you place the, this is where you use it to maneuver the ball around. This is our most basic skill. Command the ball to shoot towards a target location, deals magic damage, deals less for each unit you hit, and the ball remains at the target location afterwards. So basically you use your Q to position her ball, which sets up her other attacks. The Q doesn't really deal that much damage, though it used to be her most damaging skill. Now it's been changed over patches. Now W is what deals most of the damage, but you kind of need to skill Q first so you can, maneuver the ball around the different locations. Without that, you won't be able to sort of set up your other attacks. So you use Q to move the ball around. They can't really show that because spectator mode doesn't show the mouse clicks, but that's the basic idea there. Keep an eye on Metallion here as he tries to come in for a gank. Metallion playing jungle Shinzao does have the double buff. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Her W is called Command Dissonance. Commands the ball to release an electronic pulse that deals magic damage to nearby enemies. So this will deal damage, like right there. There is the W. See that big circular area of effect? That is the Command Dissonance. That is the W. Here comes Shyvana coming in with double buff as well. Let's see if Speaker's going to be able to get out of there. He uses the W to get away, and he is going to slip out of there. Now again, this is the skill that deals the most damage. It also leaves behind an energy field. It's a slow for enemy units, and it's a speed up for yourself. So the little area that's left behind on the command distance is, like I said, it's a slow for enemies and a speed up for yourself. And of course it also deals damage. So the basic idea is toss out the ball where you want it with Q, and then follow it up with W. So the correct placement of the ball, very, very important. If you that's why I said, again, as sort of a higher skill cap, you have to be able to place the ball in the right spots, and if you can't do that, then you're not going to be very effective at all. Right there is, and again, another use of Q to move the ball. And let's see, there's some pretty good last hitting under tower, and note that Speaker got all of those last hits. Pretty nicely done, as the most last hits in the game so far at 30. Now, right there, Jungle Shinzao Gank didn't really do that much though. Alright, now the E skill, Command Protect. This is a skill that has both passive and active. Passive gives armor and magic resist to the allied champ that the ball is attached to. Active, you command the ball to travel to and attach onto an allied champion that shields them from damage. However, enemies that the balls pass through along the way are also damaged for part of the shield value. Now again, this is where the utility of the skill comes in. So you move the ball around with Q, you create that little field with W that deals damage and serves as a speed up and a slow down for allied and enemy units. E then serves as a shield. You can put the ball directly on someone and it shields them. So the main combo you can do with the ball is Q, then W for the field, and then E to pull the ball back to yourself again. And then when you pull the ball back to yourself again, it will deal damage to whoever it passes through on the path back to you. So you can, in theory, hit someone with the ball 3 times, going out with Q, hit them then with the command distance with the W, and then hit them again as the ball comes back to you with E, and then it shields you on its path back as well. So again, you can shield people, and the shield scaling is not bad. Let's see, I don't know quite what I guess the AP ratio, it looks like it's around 0.3 or 0.4 roughly, so the scaling is not great, but the base value is pretty high. Let's see, yeah, I mean, it starts at 80 point shield at level 1, that's quite good. So again, a lot of utility. It gives you another way to move the ball around. It gives you a way to shield people. It also allows you to set up some interesting combos. You can put the ball on an ally with the command Protect with your E, and then you can use it to trigger her ultimate as well. By the way, there was a failed gank in bottom lane there, unfortunately, so bottom lane is not off to the greatest start here with Sunrise and Warlord. Again, so you can combo this with her ultimate. I'll highlight her R, her shockwave right here. Orianna commands the ball to unleash a shockwave, deals magic damage, and flings them into the air in the direction of the ball. So basically it pulls them towards the ball. Again, this is a bit of a complex skill to use, but it can serve as a knockback. Pulls people towards the location of the ball. It is AoE damage. There's a QW combo right there, dealing pretty good damage. The ultimate is AoE. It's not a huge area of effect, but you can hit multiple people with it. If the enemy team's bunched up, you can hit them with it. Again, it will knock people back. You can pull them towards them or knock them away from you if you do it correctly. So again, it's a bit complicated, but it can be a really strong ultimate if used correctly. You can toss the ball onto someone with command Protect. Like, let's say you have a really tanky initiator. Let's say you have, I don't know, someone like Malphite or Shyvana, someone who's going to jump into the middle of the enemy team and initiate. You can toss the ball onto them with command Protect and then use your ultimate as they carry the ball into the middle of the enemy team. It's a little bit weird, but you can do it, pull that off that way. I've seen it used effectively in competitive play on a number of occasions. So again, there's a lot of different things you can do with the ball. There's the Q, there's the W. Let's see if Speaker pulls it back to him with the E. No, he has not gone for that. There it is. Oh, no, never mind. That was a Q, not an E. The E is when he pulls it back and shields yourself. Anyway, right there, Gragas going to use his ult. Here comes the Shyvana gank. Let's watch to see what happens. A flash out. So that's pretty well done there. A nice use of flash to get out of that. We did see the exhaust going down there from Shyvana, so her ganks will have a lot less power with that exhaust down. Anyway, back to base, back to buy. So you see Speaker had 1900 gold. Definitely time to go back. Going to pick up the Chalice. And let's see, a ward, and he can still pick up something else. Stork Shoes, yes. Okay, Stork Shoes, yes. I did watch this game live, but I don't remember everything that happened. So in terms of skilling Orianna, people used to max Q. Now people max W first because W deals the most damage. Again, this has been changed in patches. Max W first, max Q second, 1 point in E at level 4, and then max it last, unless you're playing support Orianna, which you can do, but it's not the best. I would recommend going with another support. If you want to play support Orianna, just play Janna instead. Sort of the idea. There is a combo with all 3 skills right there. Q, W, and then E to pull the ball back and shield. So again, just again, Orianna, like I said, doesn't offer the most raw damage, but she has a lot of utility, and it's a matter of just comboing her 3 skills and then her ultimate together, making use of the ball and getting it into the right position. We do have jungle Xin Zhao coming back to lane again, but doesn't look like it's going to happen there. That's the combo. So Q out, W onto the to get the little area of effect, and then E to pull the ball back again for the shield. And it's actually quite easy to farm with Orianna, especially with blue buff. Now, one of her disadvantages, Speaker hit a QW combo right there, took off a decent amount of Gragas' life. Anyway, here we have the gank coming in. Gragas going to use his flash. That's a good idea. Make sure that he gets out of there. Xin Zhao does have red buff, so it would have been a lot more dangerous than if he didn't have that. Now again, one of the disadvantages of Orianna, there's another QW combo, so you see the little poke right there. One of the disadvantages of Orianna is she's very mana intensive. She runs out of mana very quickly, so she's pretty blue buff dependent, and it makes getting an item like Chalice of Harmony a very good idea on her. So Chalice is definitely a recommended part of her build. The basic build, oh, right here, there is the ultimate right there. There's the Gragas barrel. Who is going to win this trade? Speaker is going to come out on top and then going to shield himself in order to protect against the ignite damage. Is going to be able to get out of there. So wins the 1v1 duel. A little sloppy both sides, a little bit off on those skills, but does win the 1v1. Let's see what happens with this gank down here in the bottom. Tart going to flash forward. There's the exhaust going onto Leona. Leona, a nice Leona, a solar flare right there. Battalion going in. He's going to get ulted, and now he's going to die to the tower. Right here, Warlord is also going to die to the tower. And that gank went horribly, horribly wrong, not picking up a single kill. Not sure why Warlord didn't just use his rocket jump to leap in there and Buster Shot. That would have, feels like that would have gotten the kill. Oh, I see, Buster Shot was on cooldown. That would explain it. Still, feels like Warlord could have played that a little bit better in that particular fight. Battalion really should not have eaten 3 tower shots and died there. So that bottom lane is in a lot of trouble. And that's sort of how things are going in this match. Speaker is ahead in mid. He's 1-0, 84 minion kills. He is ahead of Gragas in CS, and now going to take the Wraith camps, as again you should do as a mid. If the jungler is not in the area, well, actually the jungler is in the area, but you should be looking to take those Wraith camps over and over again, because the farm is really useful on you, and they do respawn in 50 seconds, so you can get them very quickly. So you should be looking to take those Wraith camps whenever possible. Anyways, but Speaker's pulling ahead in farm here in mid, is ahead of this Gragas in terms of farm in middle lane. He also did pick up a refreshed blue buff when he killed Gragas, so that was very nice. His own blue was just about to wear off, or maybe it even did wear off. But anyway, he's doing quite well in mid. In top lane, we haven't looked at that too much. Let's see, it looks like D.Va is ahead in top lane, 89 CS to 65, so he is ahead in top lane, does have the kill. And it looks like we're going to have another gank right here. Remember, Gragas' flash is down. There is the ball on Battalion. There is the shockwave. Note how it pulls Gragas back, and that's going to pick up the kill. Battalion getting quite low, but he is going to survive. Again, note what Speaker did there. He tossed the ball on the Battalion to shield him, and then Battalion was able to pull back Gragas toward him due to the fact that the ball was sitting on the Xin Zhao player. So that was quite useful right there. And meanwhile, unfortunately, Tristana dies again in bottom lane. But anyway, the middle lane at least is going well. Bottom lane not going so well. So that's sort of the matchup in this game. We've got a top lane that's relatively even. Fiora's a little bit ahead, but it's relatively even. Right now, Speaker's team is winning in mid, and Speaker's team is losing pretty badly in bottom lane. That Quirky is 4-0, and that is not a good sign whatsoever. So in any case, Raid team is going to have to try to snowball off of middle lane and potentially in top lane, and that's not good news either, because that was a straight 1v1 duel, and it looks like Aurelia's natural sustain has reached the point where she was able to win that one. Also does have the Wriggles Lantern, so it did have more lifesteal for that particular fight. I did like how Aurelia itemized. Note that Aurelia already has 126 armor. It's just straight stacking armor, and that's what you have to do against Fiora in lane. That's really the way. That's the way that you beat her, is you just stack armor, because her damage is all physical. Anyway, there's another blue buff. So Speaker's just had like perma blue for the last 6 or 7 minutes now. He got his own blue, then he stole blue from killing Gragas, then he got his own blue again. That's like the best possible combination for a mid laner. Just allows you to spam your skills over and over and over again, and it makes it really easy to farm. So Speaker's actually 50% ahead in farm right now. If we check the gold totals, 4,500 against 3,100. That's a big lead. That's a big time lead. Anyway, did take Dragon. That's a nice call. I didn't see who bought the pink ward, but again, good decision. Pink it. You see there's no vision. Go for Dragon. Corki and Leona were back buying. Yeah, he was back at base picking up something. I'm not sure which item, but again, that was a nice call to take that dragon. It was free. Go ahead and take advantage of it if the other team is going to give it to you. Anyway, so let's take stock of what's going on right now in the game. When Speaker went back to base the last time, he got the Negatron Cloak. It looks like he's rushing Abyssal Scepter. Again, Abyssal has become a really popular item just because it allows you to trade so well in mid. There's more damage. There is, again, another ult on top of Gragas right there. Here comes Shyvana. The ult from Shyvana is going to go down. There is the barrel from Gragas. Again, Speaker is going to be able to pick up the kill and then flash over that slow from Shyvana and then put more damage onto the backside there. So that's very well played. And then in comes Metallion on the cleanup. So that is very nicely played there in mid with the double kill. And again, Speaker just using these skills so well. Has 135 magic resistance. Again, with the Chalice of Harmony and then the Negatron Cloak. So that is going towards an Abyssal Scepter. So again, this is one of those builds that trades damage for utility and the ability to trade more effectively in lane. What's Gragas going to do against an Orianna that has all this magic resist? The answer is not very much. So even though Gragas did hit on that exploding cask, didn't really do that much. However, Aurelia going to deal physical damage, and that is going to pick up a kill in that match. So the Aurelia player roams down from top lane. I'm a little surprised that they got caught out by that because there is a ward here, but I guess Speaker didn't see that coming. Anyway, he does get caught out by Aurelia, does end up dying, so that's a nice play for Aurelia. On the game overall, it's about a 2,500 gold lead, 2.5k, but the game is still very much in doubt at this point. Like I said, mid is winning for the red side, but the bottom lane is winning and winning hard for the blue team. So again, it's going to be about which side can snowball their lanes better and which side can come out ahead in the team fights. So we'll have to see. Anyway, just do a quick look at what everyone else is building. Diva has gone for the Phage. He also has the Ninja Tabby, Double Dorans, Ninja Tabby, Phage. So he actually has a lot of damage. Note how much damage he has here. Meanwhile, there's another fight going on in bottom lane. I guess I should have checked bottom first, but yeah, Sunrise gets blown up down here. They're just at the point where they can't trade effectively with this lane. Look how much damage Corki has. 163. He's got the Phage. Warlord only has 127, and he's still a ways away from anything useful, so just not in great shape there. Anyway, down here, Leona, just too slow there. Metallion gonna flash over the wall. I feel like Leona could have initiated just with her Zenith Blade there, but maybe it was on cooldown. Again, I didn't see. So anyway, right now, the bottom lane is roaming or doing a little bit of roaming. Leona's come up here mid. For whatever reason, I guess she's just trying to come up here to help out because middle lane's behind, and Corki is probably strong enough to 1v2 right now. But in any case, there's Gragas taking all that extra poke. Gragas looks like he's building a Rod of Ages. That's an unusual build. Usually you don't see Gragas build Rod of Ages, just because Gragas usually seen as more of a burst caster, not a sustain caster. I mean, I have seen it, but I usually see Gragas building 2 Doran's rings instead. So anyway, a little bit different, but the Abyssal Scepter is just a nice item on Orianna with the ability power and the magic resist. See, Speaker only has 86 ability power. He really doesn't have much AP because he's going for like I said, the utility route, and going for the survivability in lane instead. Chalice gives you the magic resist, gives you the Mana Regen, can be built into Athene's Unholy Grail later on. And Abyssal decreases the MR of the enemy champs. Well, there's a whiffed ult, so it's not all peaches and cream in this game. There was a whiffed ult that would have killed Gragas if it hit, but it was about 10 feet behind him. So not everything perfect in this particular matchup. So anyway, we will get back to that in a minute, and we'll see how things continue to go in this particular matchup. Meanwhile, up here in top lane, Diva is still basically just farming away. Speaker has the most farm, pretty much even in this top lane, 134 to 125. Aurelia does have the double gold pretends though, so he's going to be stacking up that passive gold. Bottom lane, Warlord still trying to farm under the tower, still picking up a little bit of gold and a little bit of passive. What is it? No, he doesn't have passive gold. At least he's almost got his BF sword. Really can't trade too effectively with Corki until he gets that. There's not a whole lot going on in the game right now, so we'll just look at the gold totals. Again, Orianna and Corki have the most gold, and then after them, it looks like it's Aurelia and Fiora, the 2 top laners, are the ones who are next closest in this particular match. So we're sort of in a part of the match where there's not that much going on. We're just sort of waiting for the next action to pick up to take place. Dragon will be up in about a minute. And until then, it doesn't look like there's going to be that much action. At least Gragas has now finished his Rod of Ages. One of the things I tell people for casting is if there's not much going on, try to look at what's going on in terms of item builds. Speaker is hanging out down here. It looks like he's trying to go for some kind of a gank, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to pull it off. Corki keeps pushing up the minion wave. He wants to get into the brush here, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get in there without being seen. So unfortunately wasting time. One thing I tell casters is if there's not much going on in the game, look at what people are building in terms of item builds, because it's always something you can check out in terms of just filling time and letting you know what, just a way of trying to talk about stuff that's going on. So anyway, let's see. Speaker's on his way back to mid right now. Looks like, oh, this is something I did notice when I watched the game. This is a big mistake on Corki's part that I want to point out. We'll see if it looks like there's a gank up in top. I will get back to that point in a second. Oh wow, Gragas totally whiffs on the barrel. That's unfortunate right there. So it looks like nothing's going to happen up here in that lane. Note what Corki did. He's got 2/3 of a Bloodthirster. He's got BF Sword and Vamp Scepter, and then he stopped at 2/3 of a Bloodthirster. Then he built the Phage and the Sheen. So he's got 2/3 of a Trinity Force, and he's got 2/3 of a Bloodthirster. That's a very inefficient way to spend your gold. You want to finish items, and he didn't finish an item right there. He kind of built most of 2 different items. That's very inefficient. Anyway, there is a fight coming up here in top lane. Aurelia taking a lot of damage. That Fioral doing quite a bit more damage. Now everybody's being chased down. Diva's going to pick up 1 kill. Diva's going to pick up a 2nd kill on the double kill. And Speaker's shield is going to allow him to survive out of there. So that's a 3 for 0 right there. A really good fight for Speaker's team right there. They were able to catch Aurelia when she was already low. I saw the Fiora ult deal a lot of damage. Speaker actually missed his ultimate in that particular fight. I don't know if you guys saw that he actually whiffed on his ultimate in that fight. Didn't hit, but it didn't end up mattering. Meanwhile, though, Sunrise is actually going to pick up a kill on... Wow, how did that happen? How in the world did he get a kill on... Oh, I see. Leona is just tanking tower shots for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And, oh, I see. Gets stunned underneath the tower and picks that one off. Okay, nicely done there. That really shouldn't have happened. Leona could have just taken 2 steps backwards and not been tanking the tower. Still, a nice play up in top lane to go 3 for 0 in that particular fight. And Diva was able to score a double kill, which is going to help Fiora quite a bit. Help Snowball out in front of Aurelia, 6,600 to 6,300. Now slightly ahead. And let's see. Speaker going to be able to get this tower? No, it's going to stop at 83. However, this tower went down. This top tower went down. Looks like this is the signal of the end of the laning phase. And it looks like we're going to get into the team fighting phase here in a moment. So we should see some more action from the 2 teams coming out soon. Speaker's sitting on 2,300 gold. He needs to go back and spend that. There we go. There is the needlessly large rod. So now that he has the Abyssal, looks like he's going to rush for Death Cap next. And he only needs, what, about 1,300 more gold to pick that up. Then he'll start dealing big time damage. So goes for you. This build is about going for utility first and then going for damage second. And I believe that this is a fairly standard way to play Orianna, just about winning trades. Anyway, there is a big dragon fight coming on here. Blue team does get dragon. More action going down on both sides. Corki going to flash out. In comes that rocket jump from Tristana. Now they've managed to catch out Leona. I don't think she's going to make it out of there. It's just who's going to get the kill. Fiora is going to pick it up. So that was a 2 for 1. Oh, nope, and here comes Aurelia. Aurelia probably shouldn't be going into this 1v3. Not the best idea. Speaker's going to pick up that kill. So that was a 3 for 1. The other team got dragon. So you might say, well, 3 kills for 1 kill and dragon. That's an even exchange. Except that it's not an even exchange because all those deaths allow Speaker's team to come down here and pick up at least 1 tower, possibly 2 towers. We'll see if they get this. So if it were a 3 for 1 trade and dragon and nothing else, it would be pretty even, but Speaker's team got 2 towers out of it. So no, it was not an even exchange. Speaker's team comes out way ahead because they got those 2 towers. So a really nice play for them. Didn't see quite how that fight got initiated. Looked like blue team was doing dragon. Red team had it warded, got down there, wasn't able to stop the dragon, but was able to get there in time to clean up quite a few kills. Anyway, Warlord does finally getting close. He does finally have the BF sword. It looks like he's getting closer to either a Bloodthirster or an Infinity Edge. Yeah, he's getting closer. He could get a Bloodthirster right now if he wanted to, although Trist usually builds Infinity Edge because of her range, but we'll see. Let's see, Speaker is very close to his death cap, just needs a little bit more, and he'll be able to pick that one up. And I'm not quite sure what Diva is building in top lane. I'm guessing he's going to build a Bloodthirster. Speaker Speaker, this is a bad time to go back. He needs 2,000 gold for a death cap. He should just do one more camp and pick up the death cap, instead of backing when he can only build a needless blasting line. Yeah, see, that's yeah, you don't want to leave yourself that close to a major item. You should have just waited for one more minion wave and picked up Death Cap, because Death Cap would increase his damage by a lot when he gets that that passive, unique passive on the Death Cap. Anyway, there's the Bloodthirster on Fiora, so her damage has gone up quite a bit by picking that one up, especially when she gets it stacked up. Anyway, really nice farming here. Speaker pointed this out while he was, after he played this game. 217 CS in 24 minutes. That's quite good. That's where you want to be. You won't always be there, but that's where you want to be, if at all possible. Anyway, there is a fight going on up here in top lane. Looks like D.Va's managed to push them off of the tower right there. There's the exhaust. There's the Fiora ult going down, but I think that Shyvana is going to be able to use her ult to get out of there. Looks like she's going to escape. This is all 5 members of the enemy team are up in top lane, so this could be trouble for Speaker's team. We'll have to see where they end up going, but 5 top, and that is probably going to spell bad news right there. There is the dash in from D.Va, and a nice crescent slash from Italian knocking them back, but he needs to get out of here right now. Let's see if he's going to be able to escape. He is ignited. No, he is not going to be able to get out of there, even though blue team is tanking a lot of tower shots. I don't think they're going to be able to survive this. There is a rocket jump in from Warlord right there, and it doesn't look like there's going to turn into any more kills right now. Looks like there's going to be a disengage. So 2 kills for blue team, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get this tower. Well, we'll see. They're still sticking around. Meanwhile, Speaker is down here pushing this tower. There is the QWE combination on Shyvana right there. Got in some pretty good damage. Let's see if that comes off cooldown right there. Oh, there is the ultimate pulling Shyvana back. The ignite and then the Q, and that Shyvana got outplayed in that particular fight. So Speaker's going to pick up red buff right there, and he's going to get that tower. Very nicely played there in that little fight right there. Meanwhile, while that was going on, the blue team did take top tower. So 2 towers exchange, a tower exchange on either side there, but Speaker did pick up that kill onto Shyvana. Now he actually does have double buff. Red buff, not terrible on Orianna. Not, she's not the best person to have it on, but like I said, she can make some use out of it. I have seen people build Lichbane on Orianna, but I really don't think it's the best item. Now there's the E, QW to farm the minions, then E to pull the ball back and have it deal damage on the return trip. So now all Speaker's skills are maxed out. There's the bonus damage on her passive. See the bonus damage? Pretty substantial. You don't get that on every auto attack, but you do get it on most. And now the pink ward revealing that there's no vision of the enemy team on Baron, so going to make the call to go straight for Baron. This is a good decision. Again, the enemy team does not have it warded. They're trying to get here. Are they going to manage to get here in time? Baron going down very low, down to 1,000. And no, the barrel will not pick up the Baron. Not quite able to get there, just not there in time. Always the worst feeling when you run there, and just as you get to the Baron pit, the Baron ends up dying right here. Blue team still chasing. Battalion going to turn around and go back in. We see a full engagement right here. Grog is going to get blown up. Exhaust going down onto, onto Shyvana right there. And that's a clean win for Speaker's team. And Ray coming out on top in that particular fight right there. So again, just turning and engaging on the enemy team. 2 for nil, and they have Baron. So now is the time to push and get into the enemy base while they have Baron, while 2 members of the enemy team are down from that last fight. Speaker's now 516 with very high farming stats here, almost 10 per minute. So this should be able to get into the enemy base. This is where Trist shines at her best. She's got the range because she's level 15. She pops her rapid fire and she takes down those turrets oh so fast with the bonus. She's got 60% attack speed. I believe it goes up to 90% at max rank if I remember correctly. So able to get the middle inhibitor and the middle inhibitor tower off of that push. And now out to about a 7,000 gold lead from what had been a pretty close game. But again, just goes to show the Baron's worth about 3,000 global gold, roughly. It's worth about 3,000 global gold, and then more global gold from that tower and that inhibitor. So yeah, it does add up. And even to add insult to injury, taking that blue buff on the way out, making sure to deny it to the enemy team. So now what they want to do is back out, look to buy, look to put all this gold to use. Everybody's sitting on gold. Look, 1,700, 2,000, 3,300, 2,500. You want to go back, want to buy, convert that gold into items. Gold does absolutely nothing for you if it's just sitting in your inventory. You have to turn it into items to have it do something. And so Speaker's now going to go for the Death Cap, and this is clearly towards a Void Staff as next item after that. So now there's the AP, now up to 460. Now he has finally gotten the AP. So again, can see how much damage these skills do. Wow, the AP scaling is pretty good on command attack. 231. Wow, 323. Yeah, so you can see how W clearly does the most damage. 250 plus 323. And then over here we see the ball shields for about 400. And how much does the ultimate deal with this AP? About 600 damage. And again, the nice thing is most of these skills are on pretty short cooldowns. Q's only on a 3-second cooldown. Dissonance is on an 8-second cooldown, and Shield's on an 8-second cooldown. So relatively low, pretty reasonable. Speaker, actually, he doesn't even have any cooldown reduction right now. He needs to pick up something that gives him CDR. Oh, there he goes. Had enough for the Void Staff. Went back to get it. So that gives the spell penetration with Abyssal and Void Staff. And Sork Shoes, that's a lot of spell penetration. Anyway, down here, Corki is the strongest member of the enemy team. Corki is 8-0. He has Bloodthirster and Trinity Force, but unfortunately he's been caught out of position. He needs to survive. He needs to be able to defend the base, but nope, he's going to get caught out. And Warlord's going to pick up that with the rocket kill. So that just really could not have been much worse for the enemy team. It's actually a nice flash from Italian there. He would have died to that Gragas barrel otherwise. And now the fight is continuing to go on here underneath this tower. Speaker's going to come in right there. There is the Orianna ult. Going to pull back Gragas. Going to pick off that fight. Aurelia, not the smartest idea. Very brave, but walking into a 5v1. Maybe not the smartest. Shyvana will fall as well. And this is the classic quintessential. Team tried to defend an outer tower. Didn't end up working out. And then they immediately surrender after that. So again, bad situation for the enemy team. That would have won. I mean, it would have been tough to turn around there, but that's a situation where you've got to give up that outer tower. Instead, they trickled in one at a time. Corki getting picked off first, then Gragas, and then Shyvana and Aurelia being finished off after that. So again, just sort of a classic misplay from the enemy team there. Anyway, this one's done. Just wrapping up. Wanted to show the Orianna build. Can see how Speaker turned out over there. Had a really nice game, very solid, 519, 264 CS, and was able to pull along the rest of the team, including the bottom lane, which struggled, but at the end of the game, scores look a lot better when the other lanes are winning. Anyway, key play in this one was sneaking that Baron and winning that Dragon fight so decisively. Those two engagements are enough to snowball this game and turn it into a win. Anyway, wanted to showcase some Orianna gameplay for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next time, see you again next week. Have a nice day.